Hey, science learners, welcome to Temperature and Plant Growth, the final chapter. Today, we're going to take a look at the journal where you set up the page, How Does Temperature Affect Plant Growth? For me, it was on page 9. So you need to find it in your table of contents and go ahead and flip to that page. We're going to finish up the experiment today. It's been a little bit, hadn't it? So if your plants have not made it, I'm sorry. You can fill in with me and we can get the same result, okay? If you didn't plant any and you're with me, well, good for you because you can fill in and do the same thing, right? So we're going to start out here where we did our day 1 cups, and we planted 2 cups with 2 seeds in each cup, and we put them in a warm, dark place and in a cold, dark place. So if you remember, a variable is something a scientist is testing. He changes or she changes to test it. So here, we're not changing the light to dark. Both of them were dark. We're changing warm and cold to see how temperature affects plant growth. All right, so let's start out by looking at our cold cup that we planted. And I can tell just looking at that cold cup, woohoo, my pencil went flying. I can tell looking at that cold cup that there's no growth there at all. Those seeds look exactly the same as they did. And in fact, oh my goodness, it's frozen here at the bottom because I watered them before I put them in. And it's absolutely no change. They haven't even swollen up or got bigger. So, wow. So in my journal where it says cold, dark place, I'm going to go to the day 10 and I'm going to draw my paper towel with my seeds at the bottom. And I'm going to make some notes. I'm going to say icy, frozen, no change. Right there. So it did not change at all in my cold, dark place. No signs of plant growth there. Okay, now I'm going to take a look at my warm, dark place cup. And remember, I planted it at exactly the same time, exactly the same as I did the other one. And here we go. Take a look at that. Look at my warm, dark place. Did it grow? It sure did. It sure did. But Miss Hudson, I thought you needed light. Well, plants do need light eventually. But when they're seeds, they don't need light at all. So they can grow without light. They can germinate without light. You see what they're eating are these two little bitty things right here. What they're eating is called the cotyledon of a seed. And it's like if you were born with all the groceries that you would need to eat for the next 18 years, you would have an understanding of what a cotyledon is. A cotyledon is the food source of a plant. So this plant can grow without the sun because it has cotyledons in the seed. Now, eventually, though, it's not going to do so good. Do you see? My cotyledons are starting to shrivel up because it's using all the food that it can from the cotyledon. So eventually it needs to learn to make its own food, like you learn to live as an adult as you grow to an adult. So eventually this plant will need the sunlight to make its own food. But right now, it's still immature and it's still eating the cotyledon because we kept it somewhere dark. Kind of cool, huh? I got to document this in my journal. So I'm going to draw my paper towel and I'm going to draw my seedling that has grown and the seeds, the vines. It's got root system. You can barely see it right there in the cup. And then the other one grew. This is so cool. The other one grew, but look at it. It didn't know which way was up because it was in the dark. Plants know to go towards the sun because they have to use it to make food, but there was no sun. So this poor plant didn't know which way to grow, so it started to grow down instead of up. Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, so I did have 2 seeds, and both seeds did germinate and grow. And so I drew it here. You see where the root system is and the seeds have started to grow. But scientific sketching always needs a little bit of color. And so I'm going to get a crayon, a greenish yellowy crayon because the color isn't really green, except maybe a little bit on the leaf right there. It's kind of a yellowy green. The farther we get down. So I'm going to color a little bit. Then the root system is yellow. And the seeds themselves were brownish. Let's see if I can't find the brown. Oh, brown. So I can actually go back and color all my seeds brown. And I don't have to color the paper towel because it's just white. So there we have it. We have growth. So how does temperature affect plant growth? I think plants need warmth to grow. Do you think that's true? I think plants need warmth to grow. What's our proof? What proves that plants need warmth to grow? The seed in the warm place germinated, started to grow. The seed in the cold place did not. The seeds in the warm place started to grow. The seeds in the cold place did not. Period. So I hope my smart cookies are pausing the video. Make sure they have their class claim and their class evidence down. And wonders, we need to come up with some questions that we have about plants and growth. So why do plants grow without light? And how about what do plants need to grow? That seems pretty interesting to me. All right. Make sure you have an updated journal. Miss Hudson's hoping to grade it at some point soon. So I'm going to need you at least to take me a couple pictures, okay, and send them if you're a virtual student. So make sure, even if you aren't journaling, you're writing it down, you have it on a sheet of paper, you can take a picture and be okay. That would be the smart thing to do, and you guys are pretty smart. Thank you, science learners. I'll see you later, okay?